Skyler, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
I'm doing fantastic. Honor, and a pleasure for you to come to join me at Let's Chat. I've been watching you for a while. I think I've probably watched mostly all your videos. I've learned so much, and I definitely appreciate the dialogue. When I left a comment, Skyler, where can I get this? Even though you did a detailed video and told me I can get it from Harbor Freight, you told me the cost, what tools I needed, I still asked questions, and you still commented. I thought that was just so awesome that you still had contact with your subscribers, and you shared these beautiful videos that had so much instruction. You know what I'm saying? But for those who don't know, because I've been following you for a while, who is Skyler Jenkins?
Are you asking me?
Asking you.
Okay. I don't know. Just a dude who fell into coin ring making, really. Nothing really special, to be honest with you.
Hey, nothing special. But how did you start? Who was your influence?
Okay, so what had happened when I started was so it was a weird time in my life when I started. I was sick with Lyme disease, so I couldn't work the business I grew up in, and so then I found myself more or less unemployed, and so I was turning on TV for the kids one day, and then someone said they had a ring made out of a quarter. I thought, oh, dude, that sounds cool. So I went to go look to see what it was, and I was just too late to see it. So then I started doing a little bit of looking around online, and then I saw there was a guy in West Virginia making and selling them on eBay. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh my gosh, those things are so cool, But I didn't have $50 to buy one. so I decided to spend thousands of dollars on the tools to figure it out.
Wow.
No, it was actually really slow at first, but but that was the genesis of the whole thing for me.
So basically, it was a YouTube video for you.
No, it was actually on PBS. It was a show called something with Russ Ruffman or something like that. It was a kid's show.
Okay.
And they had a guest on that happened to have a coin ring.
Wow.
So that's all that.
What type of tools were he using?
I have no idea. No clue.
Wow. Was it a polished string? Was it?
I didn't even see it actually. So the ring that I saw that actually keyed me into what they looked like was on eBay for sale. It was actually a Franklin $50 when I saw it. It looked pretty good. I mean, it didn't look bad at all.
Wow.
So yeah, and I found out he had been doing it since the 50s. So it's been going around a while.
Now, and that's one of the next questions from coin rings, and also what we see in like hobo nickels. People look at coin rings as being a novelty, and one of those things that you saw that people did just for extra money, like turning a quarter into a ring. How do you see coin ring from that point, knowing that it started in the 50s and probably beyond until now? What do you think about the growth that you see right now?
You know what's so funny is I'd probably agree that it was a novelty, maybe at first, but as it's progressed, and not only as it's progressed, but the amount of people doing it, it makes it more credible, So, and now regularly I have jewelers calling me all the time to say, hey, we don't want to invest all the money in how to make it. Can you just sell us coin rings? So they're in regular jewelry stores now, which is amazing.
That is awesome. I mean, just to see even like what I look at now, and I talk to coin ring creators like on a regular basis now. The last couple of months, joining the chat that was created by Nick from Badlands, and so that's why I met some of the great friends that I can call friends now, like Rob Butcher from RL Coin Rings, also Eric Eason from the Mint Condition Coin Rings. And one thing that I look at is how they polish their coin rings, from doing the mirror finish on both sides. It looks more like jewelry you would see in a jewelry store.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
And I know that 2 months ago you did they did the coin ring challenge. Tell me, how did that information get to you And what did you think about it when you first saw it?
So Nick from Badland Coin Rings contacted me through Instagram, and as soon as I heard the idea, I loved it. I just love doing that kind of thing anyway.
Uh-huh.
And so we had the opportunity. I'm really glad he brought it to me, actually. And then I happened to be going down to Texas to that coin ring convention. So I thought that'd be a perfect opportunity to do it.
Uh-huh.
And man, I really appreciate everyone who entered it, because we actually raised several $100s for Destiny Rescue, that charity I like to support. So had a great time doing it, and all the other coin ring makers just loved it. So it was a good time.
I tell you one thing, I checked the video out again today, and the theme music, and I like the fact that they were so candid on what was great about the rings and what needed to be worked and what was different. And I know that one thing that I do like from the coin ring creators is that they start to polish the inside to a point to put engravings that can be the customer, or in turn put their own logo inside, which resembles what we would see in Zales or whatever jewelry store that's in the market right now. So like I said, that was one of the things that I seen, but I understand some of the judges wanted the integrity of the coin to still be intact. And so what did you think about that? Because I know that you had some a response on that as well.
So to be honest with you, and I still stand by it. I'm kind of jealous of those. So I really want a machine that does that. So I kind of actually started looking into them a little bit, but to be honest, I just don't have the space right now. So at some point, I want to get into that myself. I think it's really cool. The inside of the band, I can understand why someone would want that to be left, but you don't see it as much. So I'd be down to cut it out, and I do cut it out of some of my stuff anyway. So.
Now, but you're definitely a major creator, because you find different ways on doing coin rings. And every time I watch the videos, I say, this is something else for me to learn. So my head starts spinning, because I'm just getting to the point that I'm working with the tools that I saw in the first video that introduced me to coin ring making. Now I want to buy a lathe machine, because now I want to do the fancy things. So what made you go to that next level?
So that's kind of interesting. So I never really watched YouTube. I've been putting YouTube videos for years, but I never really watched it, So I didn't have a baseline of what was really out there, to be honest with you. And then my kids got old enough where they started watching YouTube. And so then I watched Dude Perfect. I'm like, wow, that's a pretty cool channel, man. And then I said, maybe I should start looking at some of this stuff. So then I started looking, and then I found Patrick Adair about a little over a year ago. And I thought, wow, he's doing a lot of neat things with a lathe. I should get a lathe, And but what really pushed me over to really start down that path a lot farther than I had before was I was watching, he was new to me at the time, about a year ago. I started watching YouTube pretty regularly, Bobby Duke Arts. And he was talking about when he started his channel, and he said, I made it a priority. And I said, you know what? I've never really made YouTube a serious priority. So I decided at that point to do so. And I thought, well, then I need to make different things. So then I decided to get the lathe at that point.
Wow. Now, the thing about it, you've done 109 or so videos. I think I counted. Over 170,000 subscribers. If I'm not mistaken, I think you started in 2012.
I think, I started putting out my first couple of videos. It was for my website. I was just doing pictures of the coin rings when I was putting up then.
Explain your journey on YouTube. First and foremost, the first time you seen 5 million views and that, I think that was your gold coin video, coin ring video. Explain how you felt when that time came.
Dude, that was amazing. I'm still chasing that. To be honest with you, so my YouTube experiences, I started my YouTube channel mainly for the purpose of trying to get traffic to my website, because at that time I'd been making coin rings, and I wanted to get off of eBay. I wanted to get, all of the percentage that I was giving away to eBay. And that was my main driver at the time. And, but it takes a bit to overcome. I don't think you've got a problem with it, honestly. I've got a problem being in front of the camera, and it took me a long time to get over that. Like, dude, my hands, like, they're just not camera hands, And so I first started doing those first couple of videos, I was moving the pointer ring around and all that, and I was like, dude, no, don't show your hands. I'm like, really? So I started like shoving around with my knuckles. I'm like, I'm not gonna worry about that.
Right.
And then, so that was like the first hurdle,
Right.
But then, and my dad, he's always trying to, help me get to the next level, And I thought I was making really good coin rings. Actually, I looked back at videos, or not videos, but pictures from before I, did a lot of how-to videos,
Yeah.
I thought they're pretty good looking. And then one Christmas, my dad's like, dude, you're doing it all wrong. There's a guy I can show you he does a way better job than you. And he showed me the video of Ben's kid hammer him out with a pipe.
Yeah, man.
I was like, I don't know. I think my method's a little better than the pipe, Dad. But then I started looking at his video, and the video was amazing. First of all, he had a load of views. I think he had over 1 million views when I looked at it at the time.
Right.
I thought, wow, that's really, really cool. So then I thought, so I had been in the school to go into the ministry at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, at that point, was thinking that, now this is how I was paying for our whole family's everything, was coin ring making. But then I thought, well, maybe it's getting in the way of my studies and stuff like that. So I thought to myself, well, maybe I'll push myself, out of the business by showing other people how I do it.
Right.
And obviously it worked the other way, which is fine. But it served other purposes too. So
yeah, it's amazing because I watched Finn's kid videos, and where is Finn's kid? I haven't seen him in.
I don't know. He's the only coin ring guy I really don't talk to, and I would love to. But
I would love
talk
to him because I think he had such a candid way in bringing the information out. It was easygoing. It wasn't a lot of the glitz and the glamour into it, but you learned something, and he was a good storyteller. I definitely love watching his videos, and that's something that I see in your videos. Trying to mimic that as being a coin ring maker as well. I don't put a lot of instructional videos out because mine's are long and drawn out. So the editing and still learning the process, I find that it's not as crisp as I would like. So I found that that's the most difficult thing for me to do. One time I'm on your Instagram and I see the lights, I see the camera above the head, these shots that you're taking of that studio area that you do the video.
Right.
And I'm like, no wonder. It's like a motion picture that this guy is setting up. How did you develop? How did you develop from where you started to where you are now in your editing skills and how you do your instructional videos?
Yeah, so I first started out shooting all the film on my phone, right, and then editing it on the couch because I got neck issues, so I have to lay there with my pillow and hold my phone above my head just right. So I was doing that at first, and that's how I shot almost all of my videos up until a year and a half ago, I suppose.
Okay.
And then I got my first computer for editing, like an actual editing computer, and got a better camera, like a 4K camera, and then the lights. They were like $20 so at Walmart. So it's not big of a deal, but it adds so much. And basically, the reason it spurred me on to doing that is I saw other YouTubers and how polished their videos were, and I really wanted to mimic that. To be honest, I still do. Like, I'll look at like a Bobby Duke video, I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, his editing is awesome. His wit really comes through really well.
Right.
I think every time I try to be funny, it doesn't ever work out.
I think
but I keep trying.
I think that you put your humor in the right time,
right?
And it makes your videos enjoyable to watch. And Eli, who I interviewed earlier, prior to a few minutes ago, he always says, look at his videos and see how he does it. And I go back to your videos and I see how you add the comedic timing in it. When you add the clips, when you see the Swedish meatball maker and he's meatball, or when you said, hey, when you put the clips in at the right time. But the most important thing I always find is that you show the process.
Right.
Do you cut any of that process out in sake of the video, or do you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, quite a bit of it actually. So, well, not quite a bit of it. So what it is, I want to make sure every single step is captured, so that way people can replicate exactly what I'm doing.
Right.
But to be honest with you, there's a lot of dead space when you're moving things from one place to the other, or if you fail a couple times, I'll put that on there. So you remove that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm glad I'm hearing that from you, because when I did a video, I was like, I can't put this up. The coin just went wobbly. So it's like,
oh yeah,
so many times I had to do takes over. So I'm learning. So I'm hoping that process gets easier. So to hear that you say that you go through that same thing, it's a load off my shoulders. I'm telling you.
I gotta tell you, I gotta be honest with you. Every time I shoot a new video, first of all, it takes me a couple days to get a video completely shot, just because it takes time to set things up.
Yeah.
But then I get it all shot, and I think to myself, this is gonna be the dumbest video I've ever made. And then I get it in the editing, and it tends to work out most of the time.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it always come off, and we always learn something. And I'm amazed. The last video that I watched was how you made the spinner, but you didn't use the lathe.
Oh yeah.
And I needed that because I can't go and buy a lathe machine right now. $700, $800 and upward bound. So to see how you use the Peppy tools, and use the silver, put on the side, and you did it. I'm thinking that's perfect, because that showed the process of us wanting to do something that intricate, but not having to use expensive tools. So that was good. That was a great video that I definitely appreciated, because it gave me hope. It gave me something to practice, something to look forward to.
Right.
What coin ring makers out there now that inspire you?
Oh man, that's a big question. I don't want to leave everybody out because there's so many amazing coin ring makers out there.
Okay.
Like Badland Coin Rings, I was so impressed with the rings that he put out. Actually, I thought, man, he's like the number. Yeah, I thought he was the number one dude on. That was my personal opinion. There's a lot of good rings, but those are just some really awesome rings. And like you said, the engraving on the inside was amazing.
Right.
There's all kinds of watching people overcome obstacles. That's what really excites me. Like there was a guy, Jamie from South Carolina, that I watched him overcome obstacles and then create a business, and it's just really cool to see that happen. Yeah. So I cannot remember his business name to save my life right now, but just really cool to watch him. Remember, he's the one who gave me that Gamecocks pennant over there by my soldering area.
Okay, I thought you was talking about Ferguson. But you starting a business, that's one thing that, how did you know that this was the right thing? From watching it on that special, from building from the first point, from doing the book, doing the videos, how has coin ring making been to you as a business aspect?
Yeah, so to be perfectly honest, so before I saw that clip on PBS, literally I just became a Christian at that point, right? So I was completely agnostic, dude. And then I had this whole sickness, the Lyme disease thing, come up and just wipe me out for years, And so anyway, so for that whole day, I was really praying. I'm like, God, get me better so I can go back to construction. That's what I did for a living. Right. And then all of a sudden I saw that, and then I had that spark of an idea that, hey, I think I could do something with this. And to be perfectly honest, it's a God thing, dude. He put that whole business right into my lap. It should not have been as easy as it was. And I tell people all the time, like my neighbor, Matt Ruff, actually he's another coin ring maker, 2-bit coin rings. I really like watching. He used to be my neighbor. He's moved now. They bought a house somewhere else. But anyway, I always tell him, like, man, he's like, well, I couldn't do this. I'm like, no, yes, you can. If I can figure it out, I can guarantee you can figure it out.
Right.
So it was just really fun getting that business going,
And you graduated to do workshops. Now taking some videos to do personal one-on-one classes. How was that like?
It was I remember my very first class, I did some 2-hour classes at first, just people coming in making quarter coin rings. And it was pretty nerve-wracking at first. But it's a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of really amazing people, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
over the years, I've really got to meet a lot of people, and so now I'm actually starting to. Well, I'm trying to start to transition from, because I did coin making. That's what still pays all my bills, pretty much.
Uh-huh.
But I really want to transition to more just teaching, because I'm moving into. Well, I'm trying to move into more ministry stuff, and I just need more time.
Gotcha.
So I thought maybe the training might be my solution. So I'm going to start trying to minimize my coin making and move more into training, which is I really enjoy anyway. So
Would you consider training others to run the mint chains you can wear, and while you continue to teach, or you would be the sole coin ring maker?
you know what? No, I probably wouldn't have anyone run the mint. You know, I'd probably just kind of just let that dwindle down and then focus mainly on the teaching, pretty
Now,
much.
it's a good transition. I think, because instruction always does well. People always look
Right.
to learn. Plus, when they stumble across this as a hobby and they want to take it to the next step, people need to know the know-how. And someone who's been taking the steps like you, it would be a
Right.
good person to learn from, because, like I said, over 170,000 subscribers and over 24 million views. Now, I'm a YouTuber, so I came in this to show my love of coins, and I love to stack silver and gold. And I stumbled across coin making, and I thought it would be a good niche to put into the channel.
Mm-hmm.
But I see what you're doing. I'm like, man, that's what I inspired to. I looked at what Eli was doing in Urban Life, and I said, that's what I want to inspire to as well. Having the talks, sharing the knowledge that you have has helped me to kind of pick about what I want to do to make this thing work. So I think teaching will be an excellent thing. You have taught thousands. How does that feel? How does that make you feel, knowing that
It's
people are inspired by the work that you do? Not just the ministry, but just what you do with your hands, that God-given talent.
You know what? It's actually it's hard to imagine sometimes. Like, honestly, I don't even think about it a lot of the time until it's like someone will send me a letter or something like that, say, "Hey, you really changed. You know, I'm able to provide for my family." Or another big one, whenever I was sick with Lyme disease, this is what I could do for a living. You know, and so that really affected me. But then you have other people who are, like got PTSD and things like that, where they can't hold down a regular job, and they can do this though, and that is an amazing thing. I'm just so thankful that I get to do that. So.
Right. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, when I definitely like to do a class. So when you told me you come to Baltimore, I have to make it, because I think it'll be a different experience from watching videos to actually being in class and dealing with all the nuances that goes along with coin ring making. So that'd be something I definitely want to do, to touch base on what I need to improve on, what needs to go better, because I'm here on this bench by myself, and I'm only mimicking what I see, and talking to the guys from the coin ring chat, like Rob, Eric, Nick, and looking at what they're doing with their patina. Let me tell you something. I know a liver soft is what we use in order to darken up the coin. But these guys have done some things to make that patina look like it's power coded. It's amazing to me. The person I learned from doing the mirror finish was Eric Eason. He told me what grits to get, all the way from 100 to 3,000, and make sure I make each side of that coin shine, which I'm still learning. So all these tips and tricks, who taught you? What tips and tricks did you grab that you use today in your coin ring making? A person you met one-on-one.
Well, I'm thinking about Matt Ruff again over at 2 Bitcoin Rings. So, I did that video about how to fix a wobbly ring a while ago.
Yeah.
The main one I use now is one he taught me. He was using it a little bit differently, though. He was using it to expand rings, because he makes these massive size rings. He does a lot of powwows and stuff, and a lot of those a lot of Native Americans, I'm assuming, have bigger hands or something because he's constantly making huge runs.
Okay.
And he used the cone to stretch them out. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. So I started learning to do that, and then I realized it perfectly levels your coin out. So that was like a big trick and tip that I basically learned from somebody. But to be honest with you, I learn so much all the time. And whenever I have questions all the time about new techniques and stuff like that, and
right,
I'll poke my head in like coin ring crafters on Facebook and see what people are doing, and all the time I'll pick up things like that. That's the amazing thing about the coin ring community is everyone's so open. I like to see that continue.
I hope so too, because I've never had a question denied. If I ask a question, someone helps, and I thought that was pretty cool. Same thing I feel about the coin, the stacking community, the gold and silver, the open arms of being in the community, but in the coin ring community, the same. If I have a question about what die to buy, Swedish wrap or something new, people always share their experience in it, which helps me out a lot. What is your favorite coin around to make a coin ring from, if you could pick?
Favorite coin around? Basically, I think it's pretty of a basic one. It's just a 64 Kennedy. I love the tails out 64 Kennedys.
Yeah, me too. I like the fact that you have the year right and smack dead in the middle of the coin ring, and then you have "In God We Trust" that tapers the sides. And if you can master it and don't get the wobble, it can be a definitely excellent ring. Which coin would you call your Mona Lisa? It's a question I like to ask. Which coin would you like to make your Mona Lisa?
That's a good question also. I wouldn't call my Mona Lisa, I suppose, but those spinner rings seem to be the ones that I really have got a lot of traction with. I think those have got to be the ones.
Yeah. Now, first time, how long did it take you to make that one?
Well, the video is my first one that I made.
Okay.
So it was, I look back at that video and oh my goodness, some of those lathe operators are like, leave me comments like, what are you doing, man? And it was such poor lathe work, but I've got it down now. Okay. But yeah, that was my very first one, and it was a challenge. Matter of fact, I got it done. You did it once, right? I'm like, this is awesome. I love it. I put it on the website, and I'll never forget. Like that week, I sold, I bet you 5 of them. I was like, dude, that's amazing. But then I went to the shop to try making them, and I was like, I think I made a big mistake. So there was that learning curve, and I had actually, if you look at that, I did a collaboration video with Jason this summer. Yes. Where we were casting stuff, and inside of all that stuff that we cast with was all my stuff that I failed with that first week.
Right, that was a lot of coins. That was a lot of crap that you bought.
So it was kind of a painful learning curve for me, but once I got a hold of the idea again and then really got into it, it does really well.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that you worked through the hard times to make it happen. We got Nick McLean is inside the chat. He said, Skyler, the video where you did the North American 3 coin ring, that where you messed up was hilarious. Love that you added the fail to a video. And that's a good thing. It's a good point Nick made. Thanks for that comment, Nick. Because when you see the fails, it does make you feel like, I'm not cheering. Don't get me wrong. It's like,
I understand.
It's like, oh man, I'm not the only one. Thank you, goodness. So Nick, you made that. That's a good point.
What's funny is I think, to be perfectly honest, what it took for me to put the fails in the video is I needed to be comfortable with my failure. So then, as I get more comfortable with it, I put more of those in. But then I've discovered the more I put in, I get a lot of negative feedback on YouTube. So I try to minimize and find the happy medium.
How do you deal with that? Being in YouTube for this long, I know that no one wants to see the thumbs down. I like to see stuff, but I know it's interaction, and not everyone's going to like your content. But how do you deal with the criticism when it comes down to the videos?
Well, my mom said I was really special, so I just think everyone's jealous. No.
No. They say something. Moms are specials. They're special. They come up that makes us all feel good. So
Yeah, really. But no view is it was definitely it's like a muscle you have to like exercise, to be honest. At first you take everything, really personal, I think. And oh man, I something really funny just thinking about it. So Amanda Pawonka, this lady I know who does cable access, came over and we made a ring. I put a video up,
yeah,
and
I remember
oh
that.
my goodness, the subscribers hated her, and it was so funny that all the comments as they were coming in, I was,
Right.
and they were cracking me up because most of the time someone will put a comment in and they'll make fun of me, but it's so funny you can't help it. It's
Right.
hilarious. So I kind of like those ones, but especially when people are being lighthearted and just making fun of you, I love it. Matter of fact, I
Yeah.
almost encourage it.
Yeah, I mean,
But so they were putting all these funny comments in, but I could tell she was taking it really personally. And
yeah,
before I even put the video up, I said, don't take this stuff personal. People are going to pick you apart the way you look. They're going to pick apart all kinds of stuff.
right.
Just let it roll off your back.
I
So.
tell you, I get it all the time. My subscribers get on me from either show. Either I do Silver Talk with Eli, or I do this one. Now, I can't help that my forehead is as big as it is. If I had hair, maybe that I could hide it. The first thing was that my lighting was so bad that I get a haircut and they put a little oil on my head, and the first thing they see my forehead. They like, oh my goodness, his head is enormous. So that's one of the biggest things that they always joke on. They laugh. We have lighthearted talk, but I know it's all about love. It's us cutting each other up, and that's what we do on a live stream. Even when I don't have a guest, we just sit back and we just chill and talk and do little jokes like that. But we know it's lighthearted. But I haven't had one that was brutal yet. I did have one. My friend Eric Eason laid me out because I did not bolt down my ring stretcher. He told me, he told me 7 months ago. He says, JT, the reason why you cracking them corns is because that ring stretcher is not bolted down. So fast forward 7 months later. He says that dag-on stretcher is still not bolted down.
Yeah.
On the video and gave me an email and laid me out and said, "Look," he said, "you want to do it right, make sure you bolt down that ring stretcher, and you'll be good." So what did I do? I went to Home Depot and bought them bolts and put that ring stretcher on the table. I got sturdier table, and that was it. But it was all love, and I understood what he was saying. It was just a constructive criticism on help me out to get that tool bolted down on the table. But I get comments like that, and I take it with a grain of salt, especially with me learning how to do these instructional videos.
Right.
To me, it's hard because all the takes. I may say something incorrect. I may say a reduction die when it's already a stabilizing die. All I know is that it's a die.
Right.
I'm trying to get it through, but those who know are the most critical. So that's one thing I've found out so far in YouTube, trying to get to this journey. So I'm still in the infancy stage. I would love to have a video that hits 5 million. Andrew says he remember watching your 1 ounce gold ring with his dad, and this is the reason why he ordered rings from you.
That's cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
Andrew is on Instagram, and he just started a page called Gold, Silver, and Lead. Definitely a great guy. He's been a subscriber here, and he told me, I would like to get a ring from you. I got a couple rings from Skyler. So he told me he upward rings, like 5 rings I think he got from you.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty cool. So he was pretty excited to know that you will be on tonight. So Andrew, I definitely wanted to share his comment. Great guy. Okay, so what other things do you make coins out of?
You mean rings? You're talking about rings?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's interesting. I'm trying to kind of stretch out a little bit, and so for the past almost year now, I've been taking traditional jewelry classes. So I've been doing a lot of traditional jewelry, So I've been doing that, and there was someone. Oh yeah, the coin shop. Someone had a spoon, so they decided to make an actual coin ring style ring out of the the bottom of the spoon. That was kind of fun.
Oh yeah, wow.
Just stuff like that.
Yeah. You have a new tool that I know you shared with me last time we talked. So that I know you use that type of tool when you met with Jason, because y'all had to use that tool in order to do the wiring. So tell us about that. I love Pepe tool.
Oh yeah, so this is the new tool. That's actually it's a Pepe Tools rolling mill. It's a combination rolling mill, and actually I'm really enjoying this thing. I'm still learning how to use it, so I've got a video planned. I'm actually wearing one of the rings I just made yesterday, day before with it. You can see it. Who knows where my camera actually is?
There we go.
You can see it. It's just really basic. You just roll the wire, but you're using your scrap, and that's what I think a lot of other coin rinkers are going to like, because all of us have like our scrap that we don't know what to do with. You take it to the refinery. That's the best you can do.
Right.
But you can make money with your scrap if you learn how to melt it down and then run it to the rolling mill. So that's going to be really, really exciting.
That's game changing right there. And I know you pattern. You can also put certain patterns on with that rolling mill as well on your silver or your gold. So I'm looking forward to that. That's awesome. Pepe Tools sent me the disc cutter, which I was pretty excited. I thought I made it when they contacted me. It says, "Hey, can you do a review on this?" I was like, "What? What? I'm not even subscribers in." So I thought that was pretty awesome to get that sent to me, and I got a free disc cutter because of it. Being a coin ring creator and being on YouTube and doing as much as you have, what type of things are sent your way?
All kinds of stuff. Most of the stuff I turn down, to be perfectly honest. If I don't see the value in it, like the Pepe Tools rolling mill, I actually came to talk to them. They contacted me a couple years ago and sent me some tools. I said, listen, I only put up what I think is going to be valuable. So if it's not going to work out, it's not going up. So I messed around with their disc cutter, which I really enjoyed. Actually, I still use it pretty regularly now. And so then a couple of years went by, and I started looking at rolling mills because I had that cheap one I had bought, it's like a Chinese one, and just to see if it was worth my time, So I used it for a while and really enjoyed using it. And then I started looking at other disc cutters, and Pepe Tools just had the best specs. So I went and contacted them, and they sent me that one for free. I couldn't believe it.
Right.
But anyway, people send me, there's like pipe tape and ring sizers and what really actually most exciting thing is when like a fan will send me a bill for my wall. I just think that's the coolest thing that I get, to be honest. So so there's stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of people, especially as you get over a certain level on YouTube, they're constantly trying to they just want to get advertising dollars spent that way. So I try to make sure that gets cut out of there, because I don't want to be doing that. Especially people who are watching, I take it pretty seriously. People are watching me and saying, hey, what is going to work for me? I want to make sure that I'm giving them the right answer. So
right. And the thing about it is certain the tools that you have shared, from Skip King's tool, from also from the holders, the coin holders, the Pepe Tools, disc cutter, all these things I've seen on your channel. So that's why I knew it would be great for me to use, because that's part of the process. I say, oh, well, I've seen this on Skyler, and I mentioned that in the email. So I'm familiar with it. I've never used it on my coins yet, but I have when I try to do 2 coin rings out of 1 coin, which I use the Pepe Tools for. So I was pretty excited when I did receive it. When it comes down to, I'm going to ask a question here. How has social media helped you rather than having a brick and mortar? Do you think a brick and mortar is necessary?
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, I probably wouldn't have one. And, I thought there was a time where I really wanted one. I spent about a year thinking that's exactly what I wanted, and it just didn't work out. And now I'm really glad it didn't, because it might work out for other people, but for me, I have to have that freedom. I need freedom to not be open, or do something else. So for me, it's important. And I really think if I was doing it all over again and I didn't have a YouTube channel, didn't have any exposure, I'd be doing shows. That's the way I started doing it. And that's what provided for my family before I had YouTube anyway. But YouTube and Instagram and all that really help propel your business.
Yeah.
I've never been really big on Instagram yet, but I don't put a lot of effort into it. I probably should.
I mean, you could. I mean, I think that your platform that you created here on YouTube, you've done so well, and you're known all over the world. Like I said, every coin ring maker that I've talked to knows Skyler Jenkins. They've seen your videos, and they commented. So what you've done on here is excellent. That's why I asked about the social platforms like Facebook. Do you think it's needed? Or do you even think that a brick and mortar is needed? I think some people would like a station in their hometown, but you explain the freedom of doing it when you want, when you can.
The overhead.
And the overhead is cutting that down. So explain this. Last thing about business is, what would you tell us coin ring makers out here, the pitfalls and things to look for in this business?
The pitfalls. Okay, so for see it all the time, and it upsets me because it's people can make an awesome coin ring, but then they'll spend all their time focusing on that, but then not look at the business side of it at all. Or if they run into problems with the business, then they kind of just throw up their hands. Making coin rings is half the thing, but the other half is just enduring and getting your business rolling. And a lot of times it can be really discouraging. So that's a big pitfall I see people do. They think it's going to be really easy once they get started, but you got to hustle,
Right.
And once you get through that hustle and you start understanding where your market is and what businesses you should be approaching to get into their stores, or what kind of ways you should be selling your rings, once you get through that, it starts getting a lot easier. So that's my encouragement to people who are getting started is just endure that business side of it and get it figured out.
Yeah, I agree. I think that people work on a skill, and they should, but the marketing, understanding, you have to get the eyes on your merchandise,
right?
And you have to relay why people should purchase from you. I didn't know that the coin ring market was so thick, meaning so many other creators. So I had to come out with something different and go towards a community that may have heard of coin rings, but maybe not that much. And I did choose the coin stackers and collectors, even though they love their coins. You have the numismatists who do not want you to touch coins with dates and eras. So I've learned a lot, and I do move around in rounds and stuff like that. Do you do like rounds other than doing constitutional silver?
Every now and then. It's usually if someone has to request it. So someone will request it, like I do Britannias for people a lot of the time, or I'll do, Silver Eagles quite a bit. But basically they have to request it. It's pretty much, I don't know why I don't have them on the website. Maybe I should, but I don't.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I've tried my best to do different things like the Aztec calendar round, which I love. And I like also doing the coin, dealing with American coins as well. I found some that was very difficult, like the JFK halves, the Benjamin Franklin's, the halves. They were kind of hard for me. I was getting a lot of splits, so I'm learning how to deal with that these days. So let me go up. I want to make sure I have all my questions. You have done some awesome collaborations with Jason. Will there be any in the future?
I certainly hope so. Although every time I go to that guy's house or we meet, it costs me money.
Are you buying?
I'm like, where'd you get that tool? That's pretty cool. And I go, after that. So, but no, honestly though, I enjoy it. This is the first time this summer I'm getting to actually go to Jason's shop. He's been here a couple times, but I've never been there. Well, we've met in Texas a couple times, but really getting to see where he works it was pretty darn cool.
How did he get involved in it? Do you know the story? And then getting involved in doing the tool side of it and building the tools, because 5-6 years ago we didn't have all this. Is what I'm.
I know. Yeah. So you know what? That's a good question. I don't know how he got into coin ring making. I have no idea. I
Wow.
should ask. But I know the tools. I think he started because someone had a coin punch or something like that, and he
Uh,
thought it was really cool. And then he had a machine shop make one, and then people just started asking him to make tools. And now, I mean, there's a machine shop doing that full time. It's really awesome, actually, to see
uh-huh.
how he's grown that.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I mean, because these are the tools that everyone is using. You know,
No, I know it.
and it's making our coins look that much better. And I
Oh
could
yeah,
now I know you have videos of just using the mallet, using a mandrel, and using a drill. I did not go that route. I went through the starter packet when you created that video. So I
yeah.
feel like I cheated myself from not learning the first steps. Do you think that is needed, or could I start? Is it good that I started where I started?
If you had asked me a couple of years ago, I would have said, yeah, start that route. But now I'm realizing I don't think so. It's actually a really discouraging way to get started because it takes a lot of technique to make sure that thing gets even all the way around. Matter of
Right.
fact, there was somebody, I try to be really helpful to everyone who's getting started. So whenever I see a comment, someone's really struggling with something, I really try to focus and help through those situations with people. And there was one guy, actually last year, he put up saying how he thought I was just video editing it to make it look good, and it was actually not possible. I was like, no, it's totally possible. Here, give me a call, and he was convinced it wasn't. Just because it is kind of difficult to get them around when you're first hammering them.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I started out before I even started that. I started out just like the regular tapping the edge of the coin to flatten it out method,
Right.
and I mean that took even longer. So, and it doesn't even look that good.
Yeah, I've seen those some videos. I mean, the tapping sounds cool. I couldn't do it, but I
Right.
love to see where it used to be and see where it is right now. That's one
Hmm.
thing I love about corn ring making is seeing the progression of it, and that's why I say the lathe machine that I see you using and other corn ring creators. It's where I want to go. I see
Right.
that now you're adding jewels to the coin rings. I
Right.
saw also on your website and also the video that you created that. I also looked at a video that Jason did, and he had put a jewel where the sun is on the Walk in Liberty.
Yeah, I saw that.
So many in adding gold tone to certain aspects of the coin. So much is going on to taking this coin ring thing to the next level, and it's exciting because that means there's more to learn. It's more room to grow in this business. So I'm definitely enjoying it. 6 fast questions. Are you ready?
I think so. We'll find out.
They're pretty simple. They're not the most deepest questions in the world, but something that come. The first question is, what possibilities do you see when you look at a clad or 90% silver quarter?
What possibilities do I see? Well, it's you don't look at your change the same, that's for sure. So every time you like get change from the store, you're like looking at it like, oh man, hold on. So
Right.
you're always looking for the details of the coins now. Matter of fact, I don't even see coins as money as much anymore. It's just a future ring.
That's right. A future ring, a future earring, future pendant. So many things
Right.
I see the possibilities when I look at that quarter. What is the hardest thing to say no to? Ice cream, cookies, or a nap?
Ice cream, cookies, or cookies all day long.
Same here. Same here. If you had to start over your coin ring business, hit the reset button. Um, what would you do different?
Oh, I would probably focus less on people telling me it wasn't a good idea.
Gotcha. Good point. Good point. Because you have a lot of people who will try to stop you from doing it because they don't see the sense in it. You know, and
Yeah.
that's literal. What's the craziest thing you done when you was by yourself that you bust out laughing when you got into a crowded room?
Oh gosh. Crazy fun. Wait, rephrase it. Oh, let's hear it again.
Okay.
Say it again.
What's the craziest thing that you've done alone that when you finally got into a crowded room, you just bust out laughing when you thought of it?
Oh, Okay. One time I was trying to replace a plug in my bathroom, and I took the power breaker off thinking it was off. And there was two breakers that went in there, and I shocked the crap out of myself. And I thought that was pretty funny. You get embarrassed.
You get rushed to the hospital. Oh, man. Okay, what's the last great book that you read and you wouldn't mind sharing with somebody you just met?
Oh, I tell you what, the last book that I really enjoyed reading, the last one I actually read was Moby Dick. I hated it. I thought I didn't read it in school. I better read it. It was the most boring book I've ever read. But no, it's American Notes for General Circulation. That's what it's called by Dickens. It's about when he came when he came. I think it was in the 1830s when he came to the United States for the first time. Oh my gosh, it's a funny book. It's good times.
Wow, I didn't even never heard of it. But
yeah, it's a pretty obscure book, but it's awesome.
Okay, was it a long book?
No, really short, nice thin book. Is just a take on what American culture looked like back then. It was very funny, seeing it through his eyes. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, the next question would be, if you would make a coin ring for your wife's wedding band, which coin would you use and how would you make it?
Okay, I'll tell you what I would do. So I already did do it, so that's probably why. So I tried to make her a $5 gold piece once. She's like, I don't like the look of gold. I'm like, are you for real? Okay. So then, so I found a nickel that was made 100 years before she was born, and I used that. I found it in a BU quality nickel, and she wore that for years. And I'd probably do it again if I had to do it over again, same thing.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Now, this comes from the last interview that I did. This is with Lauro, the Lord of the Coin Rings. Who was the first to do the 1 ounce gold coin as a coin ring?
Oh, man, I don't know. Probably him. I have no idea. I mean, it definitely wasn't me. I'm sure of that.
It's awesome because the one thing we looked at, I say, hey, I've seen the first video that I've seen was that video, which hit, like I said, over 5 million views.
Right.
So when he shared that with me, he says, I've definitely learned a lot from you, from Skyler, but I think I was the first to do the 1 ounce gold coin ring. I say, well, when I ever get them on, that's the first one of the questions I would definitely ask.
I made some $5 gold pieces years before, and some of them were fails though, so I didn't want to touch them for quite a while after that. Yeah. And I'm trying to remember what even urged me to do it again. Maybe I saw him doing it. I don't know. I can't remember.
I tried my first gold coin because I looked at Eric Eason from the Mint Condition Coin Rings. Mm-hmm. He did a 1/4 ounce, I think from the Queen's Beast, the dragon coin. Beautiful coin ring he did. And I said, you know what? I got a 1/4 ounce gold coin. So I used a 1987 commemorative Constitution gold coin. Okay. I used my Peppy tools, and it moved, and it caused the punch to be in the wrong spot. I couldn't save it. I had to sell the scraps. So
that's a bummer.
And I said I wanted to start off difficult because I said, well, I talked to Eric, and I can do it. He told me what I needed to do, and I just, you know what, I'm just going ahead and do it. And he came up with this mantra because Eric is in the military. He says, Johnson, they call me JT. He said, JT, you got to have heart in order to do art. I mean,
I love it.
It was motivational. It got me pumped up. And when I made that punch and I realized I messed up, I was like, kill Eric. I just wasted $400. But it was a learning experience that I'm definitely going to try again. This time I think I'm going to do it on a 1/2 ounce or definitely a whole ounce gold coin. But it was just to see if I could do it. But that right there is the lightning round. It wasn't that fast, was it?
No, it's not too bad. Okay, I survived.
This time I'm gonna make it faster, but I can't think of questions that fast. But Kyle, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time out to come on Let's Chat, to talk to me, and talk to those in the chat. Right now, we're going to do the giveaway of the GAR, the excellent coin ring, man. I told you when I saw that you sent that picture, I was like, I seen the video when he made this one. It was beautiful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I know this lucky winner of subscribers is definitely going to love it. So, and I thank you once again, Skyler, for making this possible.
Oh, I had a great time. This was a lot of fun, actually.
I appreciate it. I really do. You don't know how big this really is. How I'm smiling inside. You know, this is a big thing. When you have somebody who inspire you to do something, and you actually have an opportunity to sit down and talk to them.
Yeah,
it's definitely a big thing. I'm gonna show this pic of this ring, so those who did not show up get jealous, because I know they're gonna be upset about this. Okay, there we go. And make sure I share it. Congratulations. There we go. Look at this beauty. It's an 1882 Morgan, and is also a spinner. Skyler, what is the name of the coin that's a spinner on the inside?
It's a Canadian penny, large penny.
Okay, Canadian large penny. Congratulations, budget bullion you have here. 1882, 90% silver with a Canadian penny as the spinner.
And actually, that was a stock photo, so I'm not sure what date it is. It's from the 1800s for sure. Yeah.
Okay. We definitely know it's a ring made by Skyler Jenkins, and that's all that matters.
Right.
Budget bullion, when you get this ring, all we ask that first thing you do is put it on your social media sites. If you do a video on it, tag me in a video so I can make sure that I can show Skyler and also show the other subscribers. That's the only requirement that we have, and that you let us know when you receive it. And what you do is make sure that you hit me up my email at jtcoinrings@gmail.com. Make sure you give me your mailing address, and I'll make sure I send that to Skyler. And Skyler, would you want to just send it from where you are? It'd be more.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Cool. All right. We have my daughter here who's dying to get here. Come on, you want to jump in so YouTube won't get me for Coppola? This is my princess here.
Hey, how's it going?
It's Skyler, the princess stacker here. She had videos now, but we got to hold off on that until later.
Right.
But thank you so much for coming in, Skyler. I really appreciate it. This is such a big thing. I tell you, like I said before, like with Eli, I can't wait to meet you and be in your presence and be in your class and learn. It's definitely paramount. It definitely has changed my life on learning coin rings. I met a whole bunch of great people. I'm learning a lot. And like I told you before in our private conversation, I've never done anything with my hands other than change tires and maybe change oil maybe once. So to do coin rings and to still learn and get better as time go on is really something. And I never thought I could make it a small business, because one thing that I was working on was not getting a part-time job.
Mm-hmm.
I one time seeing this little one grow up, and she can help me with the videos, and we go in the corner and we do the hearts and everything. I'm home with my family, and that's what I wanted. So
yeah, that's awesome.
It's afforded me the opportunity to do so, and I'm looking forward to grow. But this right here, doing the talk show, is one of the reasons why I wanted to share with the community, not just what I do, but the other great creators out there. And I really appreciate you taking the time out on this Saturday to talk to my subscribers and have this opportunity to talk and learn more about you.
Right on. Yeah, dude, I tell you what, I really appreciate it. Anytime you want me on, you just let me know. I'll be here.
Awesome. I'll be calling you tomorrow. I'm just kidding, man. Thank you so much, guy. And I'll be talking to you soon, because I want to get your P.O. box so I can send you your shirt and also your Let's Chat, your mug. All right.
Oh, dude, thanks. All right, cool.
No problem. Thank you, Skyler. Have a good one, okay?
All right. See ya.
Bye-bye. Guys, that was Skyler. from the mint chains you can wear. This is my beautiful daughter, the little, what's your name?
Princess Stacker.
They can't hear you.
Princess